If you have a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading is for you. Welcome to the Sacred Gray. My name is Astrid. I'm a psychic oracle and mentor, and this reading is for the month of March / eclipse season. So we're going to jump right in here. There is a mystery of some kind that makes you, it feels like a trigger. It makes you kind of circle back to something that I think happened before. There's some kind of reminder, some kind of cycle that's being brought up again. I'm thinking about the Venus retrograde that's occurring during this eclipse season. So kind of paying attention to what would have happened in your life around, spring of 2001, spring of 2009, or spring of 2017. There's something here that feels really big, and Spirit is actually giving me the word catastrophic, which I think is going to be your initial reaction to it. But the thing about this is that you're being asked to pause and reflect on what is actually going on, because I think when you simplify it, it is not only like not as like big, dark, scary forest as maybe you initially received it, but also there's this really big blessing that I can feel is here. So the cards that I pulled, we have the question mark box. We have this is from the Green Glyphs Oracle. Okay, the question mark box. We have acorns, which is that seed that grows into an oak tree, right? So this could be a change, or it could just be like an idea, something that you're addressing. We have the giant tooth, and then mantle, and at the bottom of the deck is chimes, okay? This might come as a bit of a shock to you, Taurus. This might come as something that you just really don't expect. But then here we have growth to complement those acorns, right? I want to get a little bit more from Poesis before we get into the tarot. Expand. This is, I'm hearing Spirit is saying blessing in disguise. This is something that it will not seem like a blessing at first. It will seem like a burden almost, but then you have an opportunity to decide what it is that you want to come from this, right? So there's something here very seriously kind of asking you to reflect on, I'm hearing like what is actually happening, what is actually taking place here. I know you guys can't see the cards, and I can show you, but I don't want to fuss with the focus on this camera because it's just a nightmare. I always have to edit the film. So if you want to become a financial supporter of my mission, there are links in the description box. I need to get a second camera to have a top-down view for you guys. Continuing on. You're being asked to really ground yourself and take a moment of pause before any decisive action or any creative action is what Spirit is saying. So it's like this. It really is of your own creation. It really is there really is something that you can build here, something that you can like alchemize in this situation, but it is requiring that you kind of cut through, that card was illuminate, that you cut through the initial possibly blow or reception of whatever this is. Okay, so let's get one more card from the Poesis. Spirit is saying one more. No, not that one. That one. Disillusion. That came out for Aries. Yeah, so it could very well be a blow. Disillusion is something that it's a belief or an idea that you had. It's an image that you created about something that you really had solid. You really had it in your mind, and then suddenly, maybe not, you learn otherwise. You learn something different about whatever that thing was, right? Let's get into the tarot. So Spirit is saying to pull from the top. The Moon, Page of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Ace of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So there are some other people involved in this. I feel really strongly. There's people or situations, people in situations, Spirit is clarifying, taking place around you that really do put you into a place that it would be easy to lose your power. It would be easy to, and it's funny because when I was getting started, I had to kind of like, I always, there are a couple of takes before I really get the video going. And I thought it was really funny because the first time that I spoke and I said, if you have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, I had a throat chakra blockage, and Taurus rules the throat. So there is something here that I think the situation, it might make you feel like shut down, whatever's coming. But the Moon is the first card asking you to, again, like illuminate what it is that's truly taking place, what it is that I guess you're being reminded of potentially because of this this mantle energy. And you might have to pick this apart a little bit, with the mystery box. You might really have to kind of work to cut through whatever it is that is immediately presented to you. The moment of reflection, the time that you take for reflection is really important throughout this eclipse season, because I'm hearing this has happened before, and you've watched it happen before, and there, Spirit is saying it is just as disruptive as the last time. It's just as disruptive as it was before. Okay. So there's something here about kind of this overflow of emotions and having to, with the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Swords, it's like this outpour of water I'm seeing from your lower chakras, actually. Like this, I guess, so then it would be like destabilizing, because there's a lot here about your roots and your experiences up until now, what you've learned and what you've unlearned, and really stabilizing yourself in the present, because what's actually happening is that you are growing, you are expanding, you are, and it's one of those things that's like the only way out is through. And I always say, if you're in the trenches, really get in those trenches, right? Like really sorry, I'm like all of a sudden kind of like uncomfortable with this energy. Like there's definitely like this, like, I think it, maybe it'll make you self-conscious. Maybe it'll make you a little extra self-aware. Like, I want to like, mess with my hair. I want to like, and that's that lower chakra. That's that creative energy that I think is being pulled out of you. And I'm hearing like drawn into question, what am I going to do with this situation that I found myself in? What am I going to make of this? You have I'm hearing a series of choices ahead of you. Let's get some ideas of what the blessings for this season is for you, Taurus. The blessings for Taurus. Please. Spirit is saying 3 cards, maybe 4. Okay. So this is an adjustment in how you speak. I have the seven of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Swords. This is an opportunity for you to come from a place that is less defensive and, again, more grounded, more leveled, not falling into, I keep hearing nourishment. In Taurus, the sun. So blessings. So there's an opportunity here to kind of create something that, I guess it would be questioning your coping mechanisms, right? So if we're thinking about the lower chakras, because I'm seeing that lower part of the energy body light up again, and I'm seeing this energy flowing out, and there's throttling, there's kind of a sputtering, of the energy flow. And you have this very clear, like you can see, if you just take a moment, Spirit is saying to just take a moment, because I'm getting this like tightness. I'm feeling it in my shoulders and in my back, and I'm feeling it in my lower chakras as well. This tightness that draws into question, again, your stability and your foundational security. And it gives you an opportunity to create, but you can't numb out. You can't fall into something that provides you comfort but not stability, comfort but not security. You have to kind of like, I'm hearing cradle, like the image that Spirit is giving me is like a safety net. What is that safety net, and how can you redefine that safety net, right? How can you make it something that is, how can you transform it into something that is truly supportive and nourishing to not just you, but like your entire situation, your physical body, your energy bodies, your soul, your relationships, right? Some of you guys might have people who are very close to you who might not really benefit from whatever coping mechanism might want to jump out of you during this time. Let's get a little bit more, one more card for blessing. Three of Swords in reverse. I can see the Chariot here with the Knight of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. There's also Judgment, and I can't help but notice that would be Death on top of Judgment. So yeah, a lot about your foundational security here, Taurus. I think that this is potentially regarding community and kind of places that you have found yourself in, friends that maybe are no longer friends. But again, the blessing is, a reworking of your healing process, where you might find yourself kind of falling into this, and I'm noticing myself like gripping my heart space, right? In a release, right? In a little burp, like I'm like, oh, right. There's this like opportunity of very real deep healing, and kind of taking note of what people are showing you and what that says about yourself, and how you can see the truth of it, right? See the nugget in it, see the acorn in it, right? But you have to, there's mystery shrouding this. There is, you have to take the time to illuminate what that blessing, what that creative opportunity is, how you can alchemize this, right? It's really a beautiful opportunity, especially with the sun. The sun enlivens, it's regarded as like the best card, quote unquote, in the tarot. Like it really enlivens any reading, no matter how challenging. And so I think that like the blessing here again is directly connected to that throat chakra. It's drawing up, from the lower chakras, from the creative force within you, from the grounded force within you, drawing up and then pushing it through the throat chakra. That's beautiful. It needs to be brought up through the heart and then out, through the mouth. Let's get some I Ching for you. And there's a heaviness here, Taurus, going into eclipse season in March. I really, I want to point out that like the heaviness that I'm experiencing here is unique, in that like it really feels like a weight. Like it really feels like a weighted blanket, And I've done quite a few readings today, and I haven't felt that up until now, and that's all right. But that weightedness almost feels like dread. And I'm thinking back to the disillusionment card. There's a level of agency that you're going to have to employ this month, Taurus, that is going to speak to, how you choose to look upon situations, how you choose to, what you choose to take from external situations, realities, stimuli. You have an opportunity to really use your agency in understanding what about that situation is serving you, as opposed to what about that situation might actually be harming you. Your perception is in question here, and it is 100% your choice, the perception that you take. Okay. So let's get your I Ching. 36. And I'm getting that's really interesting. So there's like sinus stuff, because I'm getting a sharp pain below my ear, like in my lymphatic system on my left side. That's the masculine side. And it's really actually quite painful. I wonder what that's about. Because it's not the ear. It's like there's a lymph node right there. So I think that your physical body is working some stuff out, and so you might feel really tired. Yeah, you might feel really tired and lethargic. Okay, so hexagram 36. Darkening of the light. Above earth, below fire, fire under earth, a time for caution. To survive dark times, one's inner light must be concealed and protected. It does not serve to draw attention to oneself under the present circumstances. The work should be done in secret, and the players should appear compliant. Thus, strength is reserved and future success is more likely. Yeah, so that's that. That is right on par with what I was picking up on, this energy of like, it's conserving. It's conserving. It's preserving. It's done in private. That's that reflection. That's that. And Taurus, I feel like you're pretty good at this. I feel like that. You feel things very deeply. You feel things that, Spirit is saying thoroughly. This collective has a strength in their emotions. You feel things on a level that I think is unique. People don't always feel so deeply. And it can be overwhelming, but it can also, you can leverage it, right? It can get kind of dark. And so you're asked to, I suppose, kind of invoke the spirit of your opposing sign, your sister sign, Scorpio, where there's alchemy there. You have the comfort, you have the groundedness kind of at your disposal, that grounded Taurus energy available to you, but where do you alchemize? Where do you find the light in that darkness? And Spirit is saying here that it is very clear you are guided to spend time in solitude, spend time alone, spend time in, possibly quite literally in the dark, like in your mental space, in quiet, in sleep, in preservation. You might be working really hard right now. And so that burnout energy that I'm picking up on could be very literal. It's time for you to gather your sticks and kind of like chop wood, carry water, right? Yeah. Let's get for the challenge that you don't see coming this eclipse season. What is the challenge that Taurus doesn't see coming in March and eclipse season? Death. Death. Yeah, resurrection. I have something about that. So there is so you guys might know I'm pretty active on TikTok. And another creator on the app, Stephanie, her name is Eros Wild. She's fantastic. Please go check her out. I don't think she's on YouTube, but if you're on that app, I highly recommend. She said about death and resurrection that like we have to look to nature. She said that when a butterfly exits the chrysalis, they find a high point and they let their wings dry out. And so when we're in times of death and rebirth, when we're in times of transition or kind of perspective changes or cycles opening and closing 222 on my or 2222 on my camera there when I looked up, when we're in times of really seeing the polarities of life, right? Like really seeing the lows, maybe after some highs or whatever, you have to take that time for regeneration, right? So you might have some resistance to that. What more about this challenge for Taurus in March? Ooh, the Tower. So then I have the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment in reverse. The Three of Pentacles, Temperance, Ten of Wands, and we're going to take all of these. Four of Wands, Justice. Spirit is saying to take all of them. And then the Fool here. So I do believe that this has to do with your potentially your community, potentially people that you call friends, maybe that you once called friends, maybe no more, right? And I'm hearing it's up to you. Again, there's this level of agency that's being asked to employ here. And let's take a look at these cards. Hang on. So Death, the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, Judgment in reverse. That's interesting because you have a moment of, what you might perceive as weakness, right? Because you might be very persistent on continuing to go, right? You can fall into that stubbornness, right? Where you just want to keep going. And I'm noticing also like how, again, like the heaviness of this reading, the heaviness of this energy, I'm like having a hard time like navigating it myself. There's a weight on my chest and it feels like anxiety, but it feels like a very kind of paralyzing feeling. So it's like, that resistance, Spirit is asking you to really take your time with that here, because ultimately what it comes out to is something fabulous. This is not, I'm hearing like the story isn't over. Like if you just hold on for a moment, kid, like that's what I'm hearing. If you just wait a moment, you employ this Temperance card. There's a profound new beginning right there. And it is, I'm hearing that word enlivening again. But this is your agency. This is your choice to see this, right? Like this is a decision that you have to make to jump into, with the Fool there, to jump into the perspective of this is working out for me. Okay? To harness that joy that can come from solitude that you can create for yourself, but allowing that time to pass so that the joy feel more within reach, so that it feel more accessible. This is a big, whatever this is, I think it really throws you for a loop, and you might not understand it right away. You might not be fully aware of like how good it is for you. It's very much giving blessing in disguise. It really is. Like I'm really getting this like strong, like full body chills, blessing in disguise. So seriously. And so you have a choice, right? You have a choice to view it that way. I've been saying this a lot for the collective recently, that like we have so many more choices than we realize in life. And this is an opportunity for you to exercise that, and for you to use your, I'm hearing the word independence, in your way of thinking. And so Spirit is kind of illuminating to me with, independence and way of thinking. It's breaking away from what you have learned thus far. It's breaking away from maybe thought forms that you've inherited, maybe patterns of behavior that you've inherited that perhaps would keep you in this Five of Cups, this lack energy, right? Where you're only looking at what you have, potentially lost, or I'm hearing lost sight of. And then I'm noticing courage coming out here at the bottom of the Poesis deck. It's like you might have to like really tee yourself up for the chosen perspective of trust here again with the Poesis. Like you might have to really amp yourself up. You might really have to, like, I'm seeing like Rocky, you know, like Eye of the Tiger, right? I think that's what the song is. Where it's like you gotta talk yourself into, you gotta hype yourself up for that exact mentality of like this is gonna be so good, right? And that is a choice. Let's see. Okay, so leap and listen. Oh, and there's one more here. Oh, earth. Leap, earth, listen, express at the bottom. Yeah, and the Fool here, leap, it very much reminds me of the Fool, obviously, for so many reasons, right? Like there is a leaping and bounding, right, into a new beginning, into it. And, you with Taurus, that new beginning, that like maybe an Aries energy might be more welcoming to, like your disposition you might have some very real resistance to that, and I'm hearing that's okay. Like they're really like, excuse me, again, there's release. Oh my god, there's so much release. And I'm noticing this, like these burps, they're tight, if you will. There's resistance to that release, and so there's, this is ancestral energy coming true. There's ancestral energy that's coming through. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in that because that's a powerful message. There's ancestral energy coming through here that's saying like dun, 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 like they're saying like trust it. They're saying like it's okay, like move your body, like get into it, like it's okay, like you are this decision for you to look upon a situation with kind eyes and being very decisive in your optimism this month going into March, Venus retrograde, eclipses, all of the things, Mercury retrograde, right? It is your choice and you are blessed in this decision to look upon it with kindness and gentleness and optimism. And in doing so, with this ancestral energy coming through, it is so freeing to them, right? When you make that choice, when you break a pattern of behavior that maybe you inherited of, just dwelling on, the negative, or kind of falling into something that's very self-centered, when you make that choice to go inward and feel the feelings, feel them. Don't cope with them. Don't like get angry. When you really feel them and then you accept them and you make peace with them, you're freeing your ancestors of like, potential mistakes or mishaps or unhealed behavior or actions that they took in their lifetimes. You free them up and they can assist you more. Right? I'm feeling called to one more here. And then, like I said, this is directly connected to your communication. So this has a lot to do with, like, I think the impact that you have on your I'm hearing specifically your family. So people who are like full body chills, people who are like immediately close to you, right? Your married, your husband or wife, or the person that you reside with, your parents, grandparents, whoever it is that you share space with, even your roommates, what you bring into the room, what you choose to communicate. And I'm also hearing choose to focus on. Again, it's a choice. Spirit wants a final message from the Poesis deck to come out for you. There's hearing like 2 or 3. I'm getting 2 and 3. Okay, intuition kind of coming out in reverse there. Is there one more? Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, 2 more. Okay. Yeah. And then connect. Wow. Okay. So well. All right. So this is, I'm glad that we got this final message, because this is a little bit of a call out. Spirit is taking the opportunity to really check you on something where, your intuition is, I don't always pay attention to when a card comes out in reverse, especially from an oracle deck, especially from Poesis. Like the tarot, yes, I pay attention obviously when a card comes out in reverse, but this deck in particular, the Poesis deck, I don't always take reversals. However, in this situation, it is very clear to me that I don't like to speak in black or white statements, and I don't like to speak with a broad brush, but Spirit is really pushing this one. If you resort to anger or rage as the foundation of your expression, as opposed to cutting through that, softening to it, and acknowledging that anger or rage, they are secondary emotions, they are secondary experiences to grief or sadness, right? Longing, right? There's like an emptiness. There's an emptiness that I'm feeling in you, Taurus, that might be activated this month. And if you fall into that and don't kind of cut through it, Spirit is saying your intuition is jacked. Like they're giving me the word jacked. And I feel like you're giving me the word jacked. Like if maybe that's a word that you use. And I just felt the earth kind of rumble a little bit. I live in an area where there are little earthquakes frequently, but lately Spirit's been kind of like doing that, where I feel the earthquake, and it's in reflection, in communing with Spirit, I've learned that it's a gesture to personal revolution. It's a gesture to your personal expansion that can feel kind of like a shaking, kind of like an earthquake, kind of like a tower. Okay. If you choose to adhere to a kind of anger or rage or, whatever, to something that is not authentic and embodied, then your intuition is jacked. It's in reverse. So Spirit is asking you to talk to someone with connect. And then when I split the deck, I get explore. Spirit is asking you to talk to someone. Again, coming back to your communication. Talk to someone. Talk to the person closest to you. Feminine energy would be really helpful here. So if there's a trustworthy woman in your life, or a goddess that you can chat with, that you can call in, right? Aphrodite, Mother Mary, whoever it is, okay? That is going to be the portal through which you experience very true expansion here. They're going to help you cut through those emotions, because we can't do it alone. And this reading, again, is connected to community for you, for many of you, I feel. And so there's this element of this that's like you are emboldened, you are encouraged by your guides, by your ancestors to reach out, okay? And now what's beautiful is I'm feeling... it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like if a sheet is on a table and then it's being pulled up from like, a thread or something from God, an invisible source. It's being pulled up from the center. That is the energy that I'm getting off of this right now. There's a lightening, and it's still heavy. Like there's still a weightedness here, but you're able to pull it back and feel a lightening that is freeing, that is a little bit liberating, and makes it much easier to maintain, much easier to manage, much easier to navigate, okay? And that is your call right now. That is your mission right now, okay, Taurus? I love you. Please take care of yourself. Godspeed.